Your habits are speaking long before you do. Early mornings, maybe late nights, food choices, the reps no one sees, the way you treat people when there's nothing to gain. That's what defines you. And that's exactly what drew me to today's guest. Because creating impact isn't just about what you say or post. It's about the example you set every single day. Chloe and Jake are the founders behind Creating Fit Families, but their work goes way beyond family wellness. They've built a culture, a lifestyle, a standard of discipline and consistency that influences everyone around them. I'm really excited to chat with them today to talk about what it really takes to lead by example and how they've turned their vision into something that actually moves people. Welcome to a new episode of She's Probably Talking to Other Guys. I'm your host, Annie of the Banannie Diaries. And today, Chloe and Jake are having this conversation with me all the way in Australia. Just a friendly reminder, I'm not a therapist, psychologist, or expert in human behavior. This is a judgment-free, assumption-checking zone. Take what resonates and leave the rest. I am actually going to pass it right over to them to give you an introduction about who they are and a little insight on what we'll be talking about today.
We are Chloe and Jake. We are online health and fitness coaches. We run a very special business called Creating Fit Families, where we inspire parents to be the best versions of themselves to create generational health and wellness and lifestyles for their children. And that's
pretty much
pretty
us.
much it.
Yeah.
First things first, we're going to get a little bit behind the scenes into your story. So how did you two actually meet?
We met through a mutual friend, it's going back probably 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So we knew each other for a while and used to see each other out in nightclubs and a few partying days when we were younger. And then, we just bumped into each other at a venue one night, and Chloe was the lost damsel in distress, and I was the knight in shining armor. So helped her find her friends, and the rest is history, they say.
That's so fun. I love that. Oh. When did fitness become something that you guys shared together?
It was probably about, well, I guess we've always been yo-yo dieters, so been on and off. I would be on a fitness journey and Jake wouldn't, and then vice versa. He would be on one and I wouldn't. And then it kind of come till about 3 years ago when Jake took the leap to hire a coach and get help with his fitness. And I just seen the changes that he had with not just physical changes, but mental as well, because they focused a lot on not just, exercising, but nutrition and mindset too. And, I noticed a huge change in like his energy, he was more patient, communicated better. And I was just like, okay, well, he's making all these incredible changes. Like, I want to match that, as his partner. And that's when I kind of went, okay, after a year of watching him, I jumped on and started working with the same coach. And together, I guess that's where we really grew a strong connection with, our relationship really through just looking after ourselves and investing in our health and fitness.
I feel like, I think we were sort of both at a point where we were struggling to love who we were as a person. So that was then hard for us to show to one another. So
Yeah.
once we sort of got, that self-love involved, then we were able to show it to one another and really grow that relationship.
Yeah.
That's so important. And I absolutely love that for both of you. But I mean, self-love is a huge topic, especially on social media nowadays. So I'm glad to hear that, you guys are actual proof that loving yourself can help, especially in your relationship too.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When did the idea of working together go from, something more enjoyable to just, your everyday reality?
So I think once we went on our own journey and I've, done my health and fitness thing and then Chloe done hers and we sort of matched each other and ended up at place where we were comfortable, we saw the changes it made in our life. So we spoke about wanting to help other people. Chloe doing her own coaching and me, myself, my own coaching. And then I guess we sort of just, decided to merge it together, and we saw there was a difference in the market that where people weren't coaching families together. So after speaking, it was all an idea for a little bit, but it wouldn't have been until what was it, 2024?
Yeah,
About
like
mid 2024, we decided, doing it as one was probably a really good thing, way to go, I guess. And then we decided to get some like photos done for our website. And then I guess when those photos were getting taken and we were doing the website, that's when it became like a big reality that, the
felt
business
real.
was going to, take off and we're going to actually do something with it.
Yeah.
I love that, you're really getting into it, and then it's like, yay, we get to wake up and do this together every single day. That's awesome. I do also have to point out, I love that you engage the families, because here I would say in America, at least, a lot of the gyms that I've been to, or even, CrossFit, sometimes there's, separate programs for kids, but there's never really that many kids in them. And then, just as a family, there's not necessarily always that family aspect. Again, for where I've been in the gym spaces and fitness spaces I've been in. So I think that's really something cool and unique that you guys have going there.
I think when, parents, like we said before, learn to love themselves and then grow together as a couple, it then, I guess has that flow on effect with your children too. They see how mum and dad are treating each other. They see how mum and dad are treating themselves. And also when you are implementing, healthy habits, our son every day, he journals because we journal. When we do ice baths, he wants to get in the ice bath. He sees us cold showering, he wants to cold shower. So it's like, we eat nutritious food. He wants to eat that kind of food too. So that's how we, I suppose, have that family aspect, because it's not a case of even involving the kids. It's like they get FOMO. They want to do what their parents are doing, monkey see, monkey do. And that's how we create fit families, essentially, is because we get the parents to be the best versions of themselves, and then it just has that flow on effect.
I love that. Leading by example definitely says a lot. So when we were briefly chatting before we started filming, there are assumptions of couples working together, being together 24/7, and you referenced about you don't listen to outside noise. So could you dive a little bit deeper into what that means, or what maybe the outside noise is saying that you just want to kind of ignore?
I wouldn't say there's anything specific that we've had someone say to us. I guess exactly like you said, the stereotypes of, working together and constantly being around each other and stuff like that. I guess that's probably the biggest thing that we've faced. But in terms of like our relationship, business and, what's the word? Personal relationship. Like we just work really well together. Like we don't have like a line that we don't cross or anything like that. It's just we prefer to be around each other than a lot of other people in the world. So it works. So I think, we're very lucky in that sense.
Very, yeah.
That's great. I think I'll have to pass your website along to some of, us ballroom dancing couples when we're together all the time.
Yeah.
All right. One more fun question before we go into our next segment. What would be your favorite quote unquote like Australian snack after you have a tough session?
I would say like there's a snack after training. I would say in terms of like our favorite Australian snack is definitely for me Cadbury. Like I love chocolate. I am a chocolate fanatic. But another like odd snack you could say that would probably be a bit odd to you Americans.
Goes well with training. Like
It goes well with training, yeah. Is like the rice cakes with Vegemite and avocado like mixed together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you tried Vegemite
Vegemite.
before?
I have not. No, what is it?
What, Vegemite?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, everyone's heard of it, but no, never tried it. Okay.
I
I have
have
to go
never tried
find
that.
a jar and yeah, try it.
Oh, okay. I would totally be down to like immediately put avocado on a rice cake,
Yeah.
but I've never heard of the Vegemite.
No, you got to, yeah. It's a different taste, but yeah, it goes well with the Australian crowd, anyways.
Yeah.
All right, all right. We're going to move into a little bit more just about running a business as a couple. So, when you split your roles and your responsibilities day to day, what does that look like for you guys?
We don't have specific roles. Like we are very 50-50. Like if I'm training, Jake will cook dinner, or if vice versa. Um, yeah, there's no like specific roles in our house. We just do what needs to be
Yeah,
done.
if
Like,
something needs to be
yeah,
done and someone's here or home to do it, like that person does it. If there's washing to be put on,
yeah,
yeah, we put the washing on. There's no specific roles as such that
no,
we adhere to, I guess.
yeah. I mean, probably one, the bins.
Yeah. I'll
Jake's,
take the bins out.
but to be fair, Elijah has put his hand up. He wants to do the bins now, apparently. That's his role. So,
Yeah, I won't
Very good. It's working, clearly.
yeah.
He wants to join in with you guys on so
Yeah.
much. I do, like, part of me just wonders too, though, you guys have done such a good job setting an example for him. And again, you mentioned already that it starts with you, and it just makes me think, if more people adopted this thought process of it starting with you, I do feel like the ripple effect would go much further, and then the kids would have these thoughts to pitch in. I just, interviewed someone the other day and she was telling me how, guys aren't opening doors for her anymore, little things like that that she just thought were missing. And it just kind of gave me a little thought there about how, leading by example when, you do the bins, he wants to do the bins, things like that. So,
Well, whether it's good or bad. Yes, what we try to do in our household is just strive to be the best person we can be, and then that just, like you said, the ripple effect of me being the best husband I can be,
Exactly.
flows on to Chloe. Best father I can be flows on to him, and it teaches him things that yeah, others are missing.
are there assumptions about couples in business that you learned aren't true?
I would just say that like that we would get sick of each other. Like, when couples work together. I disagree. I can't say I ever get sick of Jake. Like I love it. I love like I wish we could no
Sometimes she says it now. No.
there is like, we can't train together at the moment because there's no creche at our gym. So we like I wish we could train together, work together. Like I wish we could do everything together. I don't think we'd ever get sick of each other.
Mm. You
That's
definitely do
really
need your own space, like personally in
Yeah.
general, but
Yeah.
like when it comes to work, like I think we work best when we are in the same room, when
Yeah.
we are bouncing ideas off each other, when we are, doing the necessities of our business together. That's when
Mm.
it all works really well.
But that's probably mainly because Jake's personality, he is a very fun, like jokey person. So it does keep things quite entertaining.
having a good time. That's
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Exactly.
What's the biggest lesson working together has taught you about communication?
It's a necessity.
Yeah.
It's a necessity. We've always been really big on it, just from our, I guess, upbringings in life. We when we started dating and when we had Elijah, our number one thing was communication. That was through our parenting, through our relationship. We were always really big on that. And I guess just personally, because we've been big on that, like throughout the business aspect, it's been easy. But
Yeah.
as long as you're on top of it and you're always, voicing how you're feeling, your opinions, your ideas, and the other
Mm.
person's listening and actively listening, I guess, yeah, that's
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And again, it has a flow-on effect with your children because, we always say to Elijah, like, communication's big, and if there is something that you need, or if there's something that you don't feel, you know, right in what you're doing, like you need to express it and use your words. And we get really good feedback from his teachers as well that he is great at doing that. He's great at using his words and explaining himself, so, and communicating with how he feels. So
Sometimes too much.
yeah, so that's good.
That definitely must be rewarding too, as
Yeah.
parents to feel that and to hear all of that feedback.
Mm.
I know we kind of just gradually started to touch on this a little bit, but how has working together shaped the way that you approach families and couples in your programs?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't think we don't really target like the
Yeah.
yeah. I think each program we specifically design for that person, and then when like a couple would join a husband and wife or someone like that would join, I guess we just tailor the meal plans and the training around what they need specifically. So
Yeah.
some people we have as clients don't exercise and they're just in it for the accountability and meal plans and stuff like that. And others they can train 2 days and 3 days. So it's all tailored to each person and each like individual that signs up. And if they sign up as a couple, we adjust it for them specifically. So
Mm.
Okay. We're going to dive a little bit more into your brand itself. So, if you could talk about what makes CFF unique in the fitness and nutrition space, what exactly do you feel like makes you the most unique?
Yeah, I think Jake touched on it earlier. Like, there's so many coaches out there coaching like men and women, right? But we bring that family aspect into it. We encourage families to get outside, go for a walk, have better connection in the household, eat dinner together, like just little things like that.
get off your phones.
Get off your
Yeah,
phones,
spend
yeah.
time with one another.
Our clients, they do their morning gratitudes every day, and their kids are now starting to adopt the same habits. And, they get excited, or, they're making healthy food and that they're sending us pictures of their kids helping them make their food. And just things like that, that incorporates the whole family, not just an individual.
And I also think that what separates us as well is the fact that we've been there before.
Yeah.
We've walked down the path of, being unhappy in who we are,
Yeah.
being overweight, being, in a depressive state. So we know where we came from and where we ended up. So we have that, what's the word?
Upper hand.
Sympathy and the understanding of what that person's going through at that time. So some people, some coaches online, they've never been in that scenario. So them trying to offer their expertise on something where they haven't really been doing it. So I think those two things are the biggest.
I would actually also say the support that we give to, like, there's so many coaches that don't offer 24/7 accountability, that don't offer that one-on-one in your inbox every day, to give you that support that you need with everything that's happening in your day. Because
A lot of them are just a sign up to a program
Yeah.
and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time sort of thing.
And
So,
it's, everyone goes through challenges every single day, especially as a parent. And it's like some days, like pretty much most days, aren't perfect for parents. So when they're struggling, they need someone in their corner to be like, hey, this is totally normal. Like, let's focus on X and let's do this instead. And, if they're on their own, they're going to give up because they don't have someone to basically give them guidance on what to do next. And that's what people need, especially busy working parents or just busy parents or parents in general. Like, they need that accountability, and that's not what I believe most people can provide for them.
Accountability, I would say, definitely goes a long way. I have experience with it from, my trainer at the gym, but then also our coaches for ballroom dancing as well. I mean, I'm definitely someone who could say that accountability goes a long way. But again, I think it's something where maybe you don't necessarily know what a difference it makes until you actually have someone like that. And yeah, unfortunately, if there are a lot of trainers who aren't offering that, people maybe still don't know what that feeling is. You mentioned before about customized programs, which again, I'm someone who knows all about that. My trainer knows I'm a ballroom dancer, so I'm not out there flipping tires like other people are. So for people who don't know what it's like to have a customized program, could you just like throw out some benefits that you guys know is like crucial to a customized program versus just, jumping on YouTube and finding a video that everybody does?
So when it comes to food, I think, Chloe's a pretty fussy eater. So customizing to her specific, likes and dislikes, that's going to help with adherence. That's easy to sort of understand and see. And then when it comes to exercise, like I myself have limitations with movements that I can do due to like sporting injuries from when I was younger and whatnot. I got back issues, so I can't do certain exercises. I've had to tailor exercise routines to what I can do and my movements in the gym and stuff like that. So, when you find a program online or you find a meal plan online, it's easy to copy and paste it, but it's hard to actually continue to do that and adhere to that if it's not tailored towards your goals, needs, and wants. So, I think that's where the tailored meal plans or the tailored training programs that really makes a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
People often assume that they know how fitness works before they try it. What are some assumptions that you guys are proving wrong when it comes to that space?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think they need to do like high intensity workouts. That's the only way that they can, I suppose, lose weight, and that they have to really tough it out. And it's not the case at all. Nutrition is obviously one of the biggest key components when it comes to fat loss. And, we do have a lot of people that believe that, they have a slow metabolism and that they can't lose weight due to that. And that,
Train a bad
train
diet.
a bad diet
Just
and
go more to the gym, keep going, push yourself, but not really focus on what you're eating, I guess. Yeah.
and honestly, like I say that because that was me before I educated myself and I learned all these things. Like I thought, if I did a hectic hit session in the morning, that the whole block of chocolate that I ate at lunchtime didn't count because I did a workout today, but it's not the case at all.
I think that that's very relatable though, because I find myself doing that sometimes too. I'm like, okay, today was a really good squat day. I'm gonna get some fries.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's so relatable though, that a lot of people find themselves doing that. And obviously, you should have a treat every now and then when you want it, but I think it's more just tackling that, oh, well, I did this, so I can do this, and trying to get rid of that mentality.
Yeah, I think that's where, fitness devices like Apple Watches and stuff like that, they're really good, but they're misleading where they tell you you've burnt X amount of calories,
Yes.
and then people see that and they go, well, because I've done that, I can have this, and it just, negates the effect where it's not so true, I guess. Yeah.
And that was
That's a lot of people,
yeah,
right?
that
And
was
that was
me.
us. Yeah.
I've never actually worn one of those watches, but I was teaching the other day. I was teaching ballroom dance, and someone was very excited that they hit like 10,000 steps or something. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yay, but we still have more work to do. We're not done.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
How do you keep your programs fun and effective at the same time?
I think when you talk about being fun, like there's little things, right? For example, we have an app that we run all of our programs through, and they can track their weight. So when they're at the gym, they can, see that they're progressively, you know, increasing their weight, so they're getting stronger. Like that, I know a lot of people think that's really fun. Um, in terms of fun as well, they like have us there in their corner, and so we have I
Hype man.
I believe we have some good hype, personalities, and they love it. They love hearing our voice notes. They love our gifts that we send through message, and we try and keep it fun that way too. But in terms of, I'll be honest, when it comes to fitness and everything like that, it is the basics, and sometimes the basics are quite boring. So they're the little things that you can kind of implement to make it fun, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, you guys also have a blog that is on your website. So it talks about how you can turn your living space into a gym. What would be one tip you'd give for people who are starting that process?
Yeah, I guess it was you don't need fancy equipment. Like you turn your living space into a gym, I guess we sort of mean, you can start by going for a walk outside. You can start by, just doing some really basic body weight exercises at home in terms of, sit-ups, planks,
Dips on the couch.
those sort of things.
Yeah.
Yes. Like there's some people that are limited in what they can do. Just squatting, standing up and sitting down on a couch. You do that, 50 times and your legs will feel it. So I guess that's what we sort of mean by that is you don't have to pay exorbitant amount of money to a gym space, and you don't have to have the fancy equipment to be able to start. You just got to take that step, really.
I feel like we have touched on this quite a bit just in conversation, but what really inspired you to focus on the family fitness instead of just individual training?
Again, like coming together, doing it together makes it 10 times easier. I know Jake was, we spoke about this the other day around a study that was found on,
Oh yeah.
you can,
So they done a study where they took couples that signed up to a gym together and then individuals, and you're actually about 40% more likely to succeed if you do it with a spouse than if you went by yourself. So the dropout rate was a difference of 40%. So it's proven success comes when you embark together. And I think just knowing that when we decided to do our journey together, like we said, we yo-yo dieted for years on and off. She would train, I would train. It was up and down. But when we actually went together and decided to take these steps as a couple, as a household, that's where we saw the major change and difference in our life anyways.
yeah, especially when it comes to like nutrition, some days I'm weak and I'm like, I could just have,
Whole
go,
block of
yeah, or
chocolate.
go and eat takeaway or something, and it's having that other person there to be like, hey, remember our goals, like this is what we set out to do. And just vice versa, like keeping each other accountable. Like, I don't feel like going to the gym today, you got this, like, come on, I'll help you pack your bag, like, let's go. Just little things like that. And
Even meal prep, like,
yeah,
if I'm prepping meals and Chloe doesn't feel like eating that, but it's already there and done,
exactly.
more likelihood that she'll actually be like, yeah, okay, I'll eat that instead of buying something or making something different.
Yeah.
So,
And it's just things like that that make such a huge difference. And, even when you're on your own health journey and your partner's not, let's just say, they're more likely to be eating different things in front of you and bringing like, and it makes it harder. You feel alone. You feel like you're doing it all by yourself, and that person doesn't have your back. Whereas when not being supported. Whereas when you do it together, it's just you're united. It's just so much easier than doing it on your own. We
I
found,
imagine it's, yeah, like a completely different experience.
yeah.
When it comes to different fitness activities, which one are you each picking?
I would say as a family, probably just like a basic walk or something like that. Just,
Yeah.
We like to get out, walk the dog. Elijah rides his scooter and bike or whatever he feels like doing that day. And we just get out and walk. I think that's what I like to do together.
We're very competitive in our family. And something that I really love to do is running races. I think that, one day I'll be able to outrun Jake. He is, over 6 foot and I am 5 foot. So there's a bit of a
her 2 steps are my 1 step, so I got an advantage right there.
so I'll get beaten by Jake and then I'll have to beat Elijah, just to make myself feel a bit better.
But it teaches him resilience because he can try and strive to beat mum first,
Exactly.
and then dad later on.
Exactly.
Maybe one day he'll surprise you and, beat both of you. You never know.
Out the water, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, he is nearly taller than me now, so it won't be long.
What common fitness barriers do you face when you're training or introducing people to a new program?
Self-belief, I think,
Yeah,
would be
absolutely.
that one. I think you don't know what you're capable of, and you put limitations on yourself. When it comes to sticking to a meal plan or eating good nutritious foods,
Yeah.
you can stick to it and you can adhere to it. When it comes to going in the gym and exercising, you always hold yourself back on what you can actually do.
Yeah.
Like, say one day you'll go in, I can only do the 15 kilos, where in actual fact you could probably do the 20s or something like that. Pounds anyways, that's not kilos. But I think, yeah, self-belief.
Bit of the conversions in CrossFit because it wasn't in it was like, okay, run this many meters, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how far that is. And then it was, in kilos for weights and things. So my conversions are getting there. Also,
Okay.
my dance partner is from Ecuador, so
Yep.
it's helping me to learn more about that.
There you go. Yeah. It's more the self-belief. So,
It's
yeah.
it's huge.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think trying to give them those little wins at the start so that they can gain that confidence over time to go, oh, I actually can do this. Like I meal prepped this whole week and I went to the gym twice this week and just little things, they see the scales come down a little bit or their clothes are fitting a bit differently. Like the biggest thing we get is, well, especially with the female clients is, oh my goodness, I've tried these pants on today and I haven't been able to fit them for like 5, 10 years or whatever. And they fit, like they finally fit. And it's just those little things that make them go, wow, okay, this is working. I can do it.
So I feel like the little wins are so important. I mean, a lot of people tend to focus on big ones, but I truly am a believer that the little ones, they build up one at a time and they're, very important for people to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the one assumption about fitness, eating healthy, or your brand that you secretly enjoy proving wrong?
I love. Calorie deficits do work. I think a lot of people think they defy science with this. And in order to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. There's a lot of assumptions that people's metabolism is the reason why they cannot lose weight. And I will happily put my hand up and say that I thought this was me as well. I told myself this story for many years, and it's not the case. These things obviously play a small impact on, making it a little bit more difficult to lose weight. Well, not so much the metabolism, unless you're an older person, but there's obviously people who have medical conditions that make it more difficult. However,
They're still able to lose weight.
everyone, yeah.
That's probably the biggest misconception that
Yeah.
we like to pull people up on when they try and use that as a way out or an excuse,
Yeah.
I'd say.
That's important though. And I do. I mean, I feel like, even if I think back to when I was in high school, I mean, those were thoughts that like we were believing because that's what was being told to us or things like that. So I definitely hear how you guys probably get that often, but it's always fun to prove it. I think it's fun to prove it wrong.
I think it's not so much proving it wrong, it's more just educating people on it. Like you said, high school and throughout lives, people have been given sort of misleading information and have been able to then just use that as the excuse as to why they can't do things. Self-belief, yet again. All these factors, they play a major role in combining to a big, ball of excuses or self-belief, limitations.
How do you support each other when one of you is stressed or burnt out?
Again, I think this is where communication comes in. If I'm feeling off, down, out, or tired, or whatever it is, I always communicate to Jake, let him know, hey, I'm not feeling too great. And I feel like when I'm operating at like, let's just say 20%, Jake's operating then at 80%, like, and vice versa. We just pick up the pieces in other areas when, we see another person's tired or down or out or whatever. And that's just kind of how we've always operated, I think, with that.
Eating healthy, which we've talked about a little bit already, it tends to be a hot topic. Who's in charge of making meals?
Well,
Yet again, it's communication. We
Yeah.
sort of we bounce it off each other. We come up with different, ideas for Elijah specifically, and we ask him what he wants to eat. We've gone through stages where we go, he's going to eat this, and we go out and buy it, and he doesn't eat it. So it's open communication. It's like, what these are your 10 options.
Yeah.
These are your healthy choices. These are the good foods that, you're allowed to eat. And then you have sometimes foods, but they're once a week.
Yeah.
What would you like to eat out of this list? And then we'll go through and we'll come up with a sort of weekly, grocery haul or something like that. But Chloe and I, we stick to sort of a structured routine plan. And I guess it just comes down to eating what you are going to consistently eat. and
Yeah,
coming up
exactly.
with that
What you
plan.
can see yourself eating all the time. And this is where I think a lot of people get tripped up with when they start their health and fitness journey as well, is they stick to these unrealistic diets that don't work. And I always say to people, if you can't see yourself eating like this for a lifetime, it's never going to work for you, because you're going to stick to it. Then you're going to lose the weight, let's just say, and then you're just going to go straight back to old habits, straight back to old, ways, and pile the weight all back on. And that's why we are huge on mindset, but also habits as well, creating these habits so that when they stop working with us, because they've, achieved all their goals, they now can go on to sustaining the weight that they've got down to, sustaining the habits, sustaining everything that we've taught them, not just reverting back to old ways and then coming back as a client again. Like, no, we don't want you back as a client again. We want you to make the changes and keep the changes for your whole life, and then pass those down onto your children.
Educate around nutrition, educate around what they should and shouldn't eat, and then pass that on into your children and your family. Educating the household, really.
Yeah.
That's so important. And I know I already said that. I feel like this makes you guys unique, but it really does. So I love that you guys have tapped into this. All right. I did not send you any of the rapid fire questions in the email. These are really quick, whatever comes to your mind. Answers. You guys can each give an answer. You can toss it to one or the other, whatever's up to you. But we just have a few questions that we're going to go through. So, what is your favorite meal to have?
Healthy or unhealthy?
Either or.
What would be mine? I don't even know. Chocolate, definitely. I don't want to have a meal, but like I could eat chocolate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's my absolute favorite.
I would say I am a big Mexican fan.
Yeah,
so I love Mexican food. And
right.
when we were over in America, I think we got it nearly every day.
It was so
I was taking advantage of it, trying to get it as much as I could. So.
I actually tried birria tacos here very recently for the first time, and I am sold on those now. Those were very good. I might have gotten the answer already earlier, but which one of you is more competitive?
Oh,
I would say I'm more competitive, and Chloe would say she's more competitive. We'd argue that one. So they get pretty close. We both do not like losing, and when you're up against one another in a competitive situation, someone's got to lose. Toys might get thrown out of the cot, as
yes, absolutely.
Do you have any favorite exercises to do together?
Mine's family walk. That's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, a good walk, because we talk on our walk and we hang out, and it's outside in the sun or in nature. Yeah.
Whether it's like we've done it before, where we've driven to a specific place and then gone for a walk there, or even just around our estate, like where we live, our local community.
What's your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
Love Island. I know I shouldn't say that, but I love Love Island. I love it.
I don't watch too many shows. I'm more into YouTube, and I'll watch someone on YouTube.
Okay, that still counts. I have to admit, I started with the UK version of Love Island, and then I went to Australia, and then America finally did their own Love Island. We were the last ones, I think.
No, the UK is probably the best, I reckon.
I would agree with you on that. What is your favorite vacation spot together?
Japan or America, one of the two. We love both.
So we done Japan for our honeymoon. We're going back again in a few months' time. And then we've just done America, and we're 100% coming back. So
Whereabouts were you in America?
we were in a lot of places. We went to 8 different states, but we spent probably most of the time. We done a bigger stint in Texas and Colorado. I got family that live in Colorado, Fort Collins. So we spent a week there and sights all around there and stuff like that.
It was stunning.
Both Colorado and Texas were really
Texas was one of my faves as well.
That's so cool. I was in Colorado for the first time a few months ago. My best friend decided to move out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I finally had the chance to go out and visit her, and she took me through all kinds of mountains and trails. It really
Mm.
was beautiful out there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, we went up to, I think it's Estes Park. We
Mm.
the um went up there, and that was unreal, stunning.
If you could only listen to one song forever, what would it be?
Mm.
You know, Tennessee whiskey. It's our wedding
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that
that's
is.
actually a really pretty song that we use in ballroom dancing.
Oh, there you go.
How
Always
good.
a
Yeah.
favorite.
No, it's a good song. I used to sing it to Chloe when we were younger and intoxicated, but and now, yeah, this many years later, I still sing it, but now I'm sober.
Your growth journey.
Yeah.
All right, and then one last one. I don't know what your answer is going to be for this one, but over here we're getting ready for the Super Bowl. Do you have any events in Australia that would be considered Australia's Super Bowl?
But you're
Um,
gonna ask us who our favorite.
yeah, who we're going for? I was going
Oh,
to tell you.
we can get into that too.
I'll start off with that one. No one. I'll go for Philadelphia. So
Yeah,
we got bounced.
we were really upset.
But in
Okay.
terms of the Australian Super Bowl, you got two sports over here that are really big. You got what's called the Australian Football Rules, AFL, Australian Football League, sorry. And then you got the NRL, which is rugby. So uh, popularity, I'd probably say AFL would be more popular,
Yeah.
but they're 1A, 1B, and they compete with each other every year for who can do the biggest, halftime performance and
Mm.
biggest like parades and all that. So that's our version of a Super Bowl. It's nowhere near as big as you guys, but yeah, we'll get there one day. I think the NRL they start the season in Vegas. So
Yeah.
they kick it off in Vegas, and that's in April or something like that. They have a weekend where a whole heap of Australian rugby teams will fly over to
Mm.
Vegas, and they do a big weekend tournament over there. So
Okay, I did not know that. See, look
yeah,
at that. You just taught me something new. Well,
mm,
next season I'll have to cheer for you guys for your Philadelphia Eagles. My
yeah.
Patriots are in, so I'm gonna be cheering for them.
I guess
But
how exciting.
we'll
Right.
see what
I,
happens.
I
I'm also
find it.
very excited for Bad Bunny as well. So,
Oh, yes, yes. I find it unfair that the Patriots had, Tom Brady and Belichick for so long, and now they're going straight back with a new coach and quarterback. Leave
yeah.
some Super Bowls for the rest of us.
I'll pass the memo. All right. It has been so fun chatting with you guys. I would love it if you could let everyone know where they could find you. Also, I don't know if you only work exclusively with Australia or, feel free to mention if people all over the world could reach out and talk with you guys.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll work with people in America. Yeah, 100%. And then you can just find us on Instagram. Yeah,
Our handle is just creating fit families with an S on the end.
yeah,
And then our website is just www.cffaus, Oz obviously, .com.au.
yeah.
Perfect. And I will put all of that in the video description on Spotify. So if you're not sure how to spell it, you can look right into the description for everyone listening. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I'm really excited for everyone to tune in to this episode. You can follow, she's probably talking to other guys on social media at spttog podcast. Make sure to follow along on Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon Music, wherever you choose to tune in.